Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
But the fan incident that happened in Toronto after the game, watch the video. Chris Edwards, longtime CFL defensive back, never been a problem, starting the lawnmower on a Ticats fan. The video's out there, all of the video. It's not a big deal. You saw players scaling from the Toronto Argonauts, scaling the fence to go join the fray. Dejan Brissett, who's a friend of this show, number 2 overall pick by the Argos, Toronto kid, he jumps there, and I'm like, oh, boy, this is looking like a scene from Slapshot. As we finds out later, he was trying to play the role of peacemaker. If you look at the video, the Ticat fan, clearly the aggressor. The guy with the Ticat flag tying around his neck, who was into Grandpa's cough medicine. Nobody is going to hold the Argos responsible here. Shouldn't anyways. Initially, I didn't see any security around, and then I saw a video from the backside. There was tons of security. They were all at the Argo locker room. Come on. I'm not holding the Argos responsible. I'm not holding the CFL nor the security responsible. I'm holding the idiot fan responsible that supposedly threw a beer at the guy. That caused Chris Edwards to come after him. The players should not have to put up with it. It's not pay your ticket and do whatever the hell you want. It's not. It's pay for your ticket, watch the game, and go home. Don't act like an asshole. So he deserved everything. I wish he would have got more. I really do. And I think a lot of people agree with me. The players don't have to put up with whatever comes their way. That's junk. People feel that way. They're wrong.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
If you look at the video, the Ticat fan, clearly the aggressor. The guy with the Ticat flag tying around his neck, who was into Grandpa's cough medicine. Oh, boy. This is looking like a scene from Slapshot. The players should not have to put up with it. It's not pay your ticket and do whatever the hell you want. It's not. It's pay for your ticket, watch the game, and go home. So he deserved everything. I wish he would have got more.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It's Canada's daytime sports talk show. That is not Canada there. Broadcasting from beautiful and sunny South Florida with episode number 628 of Canada's daytime sports talk show. Tarps off for the boys out on the beach as we get ready to talk sports for the next couple of hours. Yeah, I'm here and broadcasting from the bunker in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, where all of the teams are playing tonight in the National Hockey League. We bring in the owner, the proprietor, the CEO of this lovely adventure that we do every day, Darren Moose Dupont. How you doing, Moose? I see you got some Tom Brady love going today. What's the impetus for the TB12 hoodie?
I was putting together my NFL top 5 this morning, and I was thinking of it, and I was getting dressed, and I reached in, and yeah, it was speaking to me this morning.
I like it. Red is the language of love. So are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?
Ready. Always ready.
Okay. Well, I looked at these games tonight as I was filling out the sports on tap for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store, and I'm like, holy smokes, what are we going to do? Talk about last night? Man, I've been sitting here all day waiting for this show to start, man, and talk about tonight's games. But we got a lot to get to, and I was very excited. Every time I see Mike Richards' name on the guest list from Saga 960 Radio in Mississauga, I just smile and feel good. One of the best sports talk hosts in the land. Mike Richards will be with us in hour 1, and one of the best play-by-play people in the land in hour 2, Leah Hextall from ESPN, who I guess she just called the Jets game the other night, her first game. I didn't see it. I heard about it, and she was getting a lot of plaudits and kudos for that. So Leah Hextall in hour 2, and Director Jordan, if you don't mind, could you please hit the quick 6 show horn, because we got a long ways to go. I'm going to start with Monday Night Football because why not? Honestly, people are still talking about it. Moose, you saw some, if not all of it. Damian Harris scored on a 64-yard run in blustery conditions, and the New England Patriots beat the Buffalo Bills 14-10 in Monday Night Football. New England improved to 9-4 by winning their 7th straight and now have a 2-game edge over the Bills in the AFC East standings. Buffalo dropped to 7-5. And I wanted to clarify a few things that I talked about on the show yesterday and on the weekend on social media when I said that these bad conditions are ruining games. I didn't I wasn't even pointing out a problem. I'm just saying this is ugly. The conditions are ugly. That's all. I know there's not much can be done about it. Not much can be done about Buffalo weather or Quebec City weather in December, but that thing was tough to watch last night. And a statistical anomaly. I think this is why we love sports so much, Darren. You saw Mac Jones, the Patriots quarterback, went 2 for 3 for 19 yards. This is one of the biggest reasons why I don't play. One of the biggest reasons why I don't play fantasy football. He won. They won their 7th in a row, but I'm sure fantasy players are pulling their hair out and wishing that they hadn't started him if they had, because his stats were so bad. Those two completions, I believe, were for touchdowns, so there were some points there. But man, that was tough to watch last night.
It was something. The goalposts were doing this, like in the wind. It was crazy, and they just ran the ball, and you're like, okay. The first half's over. They've thrown one pass, one, and then it's like, okay, so third down. They're gonna throw the football. No, run it again, run it again, run it again, run it again. And you know what? It worked for them. They ran the clock down. They controlled time of possession. Didn't make crazy mistakes. Their offensive line was really good. On the other side, they let Josh Allen throw, and I mean he can throw the football really well, and he did in the wind. There was some mistakes that play that with the football went off the mask on the punt. Josh Allen turned that into a touchdown the very next play. They moved the ball down the field, but again, missed a field goal with the wind. Couldn't convert on 3rd and long when you were down inside the 30 a couple of times late in that football game. So Buffalo had their chances, but this was kind of, you talk about, putting your balls on the table. That's what Bill Belichick did and said, we're just going to keep running the football. We're going to keep running the football, and we're just not going to pass it, and we'll control the clock, and we have enough guys and enough of an offensive line that we'll score. And, yeah, they did on the 60-yard touchdown.
I hear it all the time, especially here in South Florida, that the Patriots are back. And I'm saying no, they're not back until they win a division, probably a conference championship, and maybe even a Super Bowl. They're not back. They look good. They're on their way. They're not even out of the regular season yet. But yeah, Bill's a great coach, but it was tough to watch. Moving on to point 2, NHL from Monday night. John Carlson tied the game late in the second period, then scored Washington's 3rd and final shootout goal to give the Caps a 4-3 victory over the Anaheim Ducks. I watched that one. Jacob Peterson made good on a second chance at the go-ahead goal against Arizona, and Dallas tied a franchise record with their 7th straight win, 4-1 over Arizona. Break up the Stars. Josh Norris scored the decisive goal in a shootout to lift Ottawa over New Jersey 3-2, extending the Sens win streak to 3. Break up the Sens. Eric Johnson had a goal and a helper, and Colorado beat Philadelphia 7-5. It was the Flyers' 9th straight loss, just hours after they fired coach Alain Vigneault and put Mike Yeo in on the interim. I looked, Nathan McKinnon, 1 assist, -1. Because there are those that say the Avalanche are the best team in the NHL. They haven't even been in my top 5 all year, but they have won 8 of 11. But just because you beat Philly and Montreal don't mean spit. And Bruce Boudreau was a winner in his debut behind the Vancouver Canucks bench. Thatcher Demko made 30 saves, and Brock Besser and JT Miller each had a power play goal and an assist as the Canucks beat the visiting LA Kings 4-0. Before I move on to the next point, this is point 2B. I'm watching Farhan on SportsCenter last night, and I've seen this report multiple times that the Sedins are going to be consulted on the next general manager for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm sorry, what? Our Vancouver viewers, you got to inform me. You got to tell me, what have the Sedins been doing other than having Hall of Fame careers as players? I get that they would have any business in charting the course of the future of this franchise with a general manager. I'm sorry. And what do they know about winning? And I don't say that to be a jerk. I really don't. I honestly say, why are we asking the Sedins who the next GM of the team will be? Because it reminds me all the world of, and I'm sorry to bring in the CFL analogy, but it reminds me of, not to name any names other than Darian Durant. Darian Durant being called in by a team official saying, what do you think of your offensive coordinator? If we fired him, how would you feel? And Darian's like, feels like a trap. Jerry walked straight out of their office and he was like, well, they just asked me this, Rod. I didn't know what to say. Slightly different. And you know that the officials had the best intentions. But I don't think you go to your players, and I don't think you go to your past players in a hire like this. My God, unless I've completely misread the situation. And you Vancouver viewers and Canucks fans, can you please tell me if you think this is a good idea and what the Sundins have been doing since they retired that would lead you to believe that they should be involved in this? Am I completely out to lunch, Darren? I was shocked when I saw that report.
What I like is alumni relations. I like keeping them involved in the organization. I think that's important. I think largely, and I spent some time out there, Pavel Bure, nowhere to be seen around the organization. Marcus Naslin, nowhere to be seen. Todd Bertuzzi, nowhere to be seen. Now, Gino Ojic's still out there doing his thing. But the alumni isn't as strong as it needs to be. So keeping them engaged is a good thing. And maybe that will help, build the traditions and bring other guys back. Would I be leaning on their advice as to who I hire? Probably not. But again, I don't know what they've been up to out there. So,
well, the third Sedin has chimed in, producer Clark, and he says that indeed Henrik and Daniel have been working in the front office since they retired. But so what? This has not worked for the Edmonton Oilers. And again, just to use my Saskatchewan Roughriders perspective, hey, Wes Cates, hey, Darian, we're thinking of making a GM change. Who would you hire? What? Just because they're alumni? Makes no sense to me. Anyways, moving on. And I'll get to everybody else's comments in a moment, but this is me and Moose's time. This was sent to me last night, and I know that we're going to have fun with this. You saw the poll, I assume, that the research done by Ticket Source, best arenas for fan experience. Of course you saw it because you were tagged in it, as was I. One of our viewers sent it to us. I think it was ESPN Reacts sent this to us. That's the account, ESPN Reacts. I said, Rod, what do you think about this? Here are the top 5 arenas in the National Hockey League for fan experience as conducted by this poll, I guess, this study, this survey from Ticket Source. Number 1, Calgary Flames. Number 2, Ottawa Senators. Number 3, Vancouver Canucks. Number 4, Columbus Blue Jackets. And number 5, Montreal Canadiens. I've been to all of those venues. Here's your bottom 5, starting with the worst. New Jersey Devils, Vegas Golden Knights, New York Islanders, Florida Panthers, Anaheim Ducks. That's your worst 5. I'm like, what? Now, when the guy sent this to me, I had a little fun with him, and I said, hey, Calgary Flames, number 1, Dome Beers, as people call them, heroin beers in that place, man. Woo, you have a couple of those, and you're falling down the stairs.
Right.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
So you can see
maybe
Calgary up near the top somewhere.
If the polls for beer potency, it ain't close for number 2. And by the way, the Flames, they and I have a history. They know it. I know it. A lot of people know it. I'm past it. I think they're past it. And I say this since I was in college in Calgary. I've always loved games in the Saddle Dome. And let's remind ourselves, all 32 game experiences in the National Hockey League are great. All of them. It's similar to when we talk about the best Canadian Football League venues and home games. They're all great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just start there. But in Calgary, with the fire going off, when the Flames come on the ice, you can feel the heat.
Yeah.
They used to have, the longtime Calgary viewers will know this, Flames fans, they used to, when the scoreboards first came out, the video scoreboards, they had like a Yosemite Sam guy that would shoot his gun on the scoreboard. Yahoo! Like in the 80s. It was amazing. And they play Ring of Fire, Johnny Cash. I'm not saying the Flames are number 1, but I'm not saying they're 32nd either. Flames are very good. And I don't even know what really went into this poll. But for Vegas Golden Knights to be the second worst, that's just stupid. You've just blown all your credibility, all of it. Because even NHL people, even the teams that hate the Vegas Golden Knights will tell you that they're number 1. Like, it's just mind-blowing. Yeah. Vegas is number 1. But, we're not, of course, I wouldn't know about beer potency in T-Mobile Arena because I don't buy it.
Right.
I think it's like $18 a beer or something ridiculous. But anyways, those are the polls, and I just would like people to weigh in on what they think their best NHL venue is. I've been in just about all of them, and they're great, all of them. But I would not. Well, I would put Calgary near the top, frankly, but I wouldn't put them number 1. Do you have a take on this?
Nashville's pretty good. We were there. I like that building. The crowd really gets into it. I can understand a little bit. I think Florida might be on their way if following your socials been any indication. I understand why they'd be near the bottom with empty crowds and the building being empty and stuff. So the fan experience isn't going to be great just by default. But sounds like they're on their way, which is cool. It's tough. I mean, again, the Vegas thing being at the bottom, that's where you lose me. Interesting, though, it's mostly Canadian teams right at the top of that list, right? A lot of Canadian teams. And Ottawa, which I thought was interesting. I've never really heard Ottawa being this wonderful, place, destination.
Not even in Ottawa do they think they have a good fan experience. Not even in Ottawa do they think that.
So that, but I've never been to a game in Ottawa, so I can't say. But I'm not dying to go, right? Nothing's pulling at me to go.
It's not tremendous. By the way, one of our viewers, Justin Wolf, chiming in, watching on YouTube, says the Sedins work for the Canucks as special advisors to the general manager. Cool. What did they do for Jim Benning? And I'm sitting here not trying to be a jerk, and I'm not being facetious in any way. I just feel like they went straight from playing to the front office, and what experience do you have running a team that would lend you to believe they should be even consulted in hiring the next general manager? I'm not saying that I'm right. Is there nobody better? They got Stan Still in there, Stan Smill, Steamer. Leave him in there. He's got more experience doing it. Anyways, moving on. My next point is point 4. It's entitled Grey Cup Stuff. And by the way, for those who want to know, we got the Brendan Botcher situation coming up. We got to get into that for the curling fans, the curling drama, which it is serious, and more on the Hamilton-Toronto fan fights. But the betting line is out from betregal.net. Did you, by chance, sort of put you on the spot here, but did you see what it was, Darren?
No, which is fun. I like.
What would you?
I typically.
What would you put it at?
Yeah, because you like to ask. Winnipeg by 6.5 or 7.5.
Ooh, have you been reading my diary?
No,
because I had Winnipeg at 7 going into the week.
Oh,
betregal.net. Ta-da! 2.5. 2.5.
Okay, I was going to say. We put the graphic up that had all the predictable matchups and what the over, and none of them had a 7.5. It was like 4.5 in certain ones. Okay, 2.5. That's a lot closer than I thought.
Way closer, but I don't expect it's going to stay there. That's the opening line from betregal.net, our exclusive betting partner, also the exclusive betting partner of the Canadian Football League. 2.5 points. You know what we're going to do? Let's take a timeout. This is the warm-up, by the way. 3downnation.com with a story this morning that the Ottawa Redblacks, their head coach, Paul LaPolice, is desirous of Chris Streveler to be a starting quarterback next year in Ottawa. Have you ever heard the term desirous before, Moose?
First time today.
Yeah, it's from I've used it on this show before, but it's from the show Three's Company. People a little older than you will remember. But they're desirous of Chris Streveler. So when we come back, we will talk about more Grey Cup stuff. The trophy's arriving in Hamilton today.
Awesome.
You're getting all the feels are coming back for the Grey Cup. We'll talk about the curling drama and then get into more of viewer comments. We can start Taco Time viewer takeover early. The NHL Best Fan Experience Survey. Everybody loves talking about that. I said Vegas is number 1.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of the others when we come back. So all the topics on the table when we come back. And Mike Richards and Leah Hextall on the way today. You're watching Canada's daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming. The Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Looking live at gorgeous South Florida. Ironically, it's Canada's daytime sports talk show. Gorgeous day here today, 28 degrees Celsius. We got the Moose in the sweatpants capital in the bunker in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. If we can get the Moose on the screen as we open up the text line, get a few comments in here, Moose. You can always write us at 902-518-3033. Rarely have we had anything go on this show that's generated as much talk as the jingle for our text line.
Well,
so what's happening with that?
I can give you news. I actually heard the finished product yesterday, saw it, and now it's just going through the final, whatever you want to call it, process, and it'll be distributed here shortly.
Did you write it?
No, I did not. So we had a content team that took care of that. Not my specialty.
Beautiful. Okay. So to that number, 902-518-3033. Ray, watching in Scarborough, Ontario on Game Plus Television, says, "Hi, Rod. Tough game last night. Tough to watch. Patriots looked more comfortable playing in the conditions than the Bills. Hats off to Belichick for a good game plan. 3 passes. Unheard of. It was an NFL record last night. Again, that's why we tune in to watch the games, I guess, because you never know what's going to happen. A statistical anomaly. 19 yards passing by the Patriots, and they won. Mind-boggling.
I know.
Tony Cernick is watching in the Energy City, and he says, as of November 23rd, 2021, the Cowboys still going. Clark, I don't know if you have access to the text line. If you can, he sent a video. He's got the video of that Cowboy from the 80s. I haven't been to a Flames game in a while. Yahoo! You know, it's memorable when I can still remember it this many years later, right?
Oh, yeah.
And on the viewers, this is ridiculous. Monty in Saskatoon. I miss you, Rod. Well, you shouldn't, Monty, because I'm here every day, right here, coming at you. That's silly talk. What do you got, Clark? Oh, the video quality isn't good, Clark says, so we can't use it. So, from Mike Horrigan watching in Toronto on the 905. This jingle better be the jingle to end all jingles.
Really been hyping it up.
I feel like it will be. My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat is watching, and she says Winnipeg by 14. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg says cousin Christine is 100% right. Bet the mortgage payment and the Christmas present money on the Bombers. Hang on, it's early in the week. I'm not ready to lay the change down just yet. From Darren Workman in Salt Lake City says, bet Regal's giving Hamilton a lot of love. We got all week to talk about the CFL stuff. I want to say this. My guy Thad, who is the manager of a restaurant down here, I told you what he said. He's like, Rod, I'm not really a football guy to begin with. CFL, I'm sorry you lose me. I'm a hockey guy. I'll be in watching when you talk hockey. That's from Thad in Pompano Beach, Florida. Think about that for a second. So something echoed in my mind here when I was talking about the best fan experience. In the NHL, he said that he took his dad to a Habs game because his dad, although from upstate New York, he's a Montreal Canadiens fan. And I said, how much you pay for tickets? This was Friday night. I was at the beach house. And he goes, $250 a ticket. And I'm like, he's like, well, that's not bad. That's not bad. Lower Bowl, Bell Center, Montreal. Of course, he's paying U.S. funds for Canadian property, right. So it's 30% off right from the get-go. But my God, you have to understand, they're just used to paying major ticket prices here. Yeah. They are. And I guess a lot of NHL fans are used to paying huge dough, but it just $500. It better be the game to end all. It was. By the way, I think he said it was his dad's birthday in Montreal. He's like, but this is like a once in a lifetime thing, not season tickets. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to splurge on my dad's birthday in Montreal. Blah blah blah. Now, in that rink, you've been there. I mean, it's not even about the game. The hair stands up on the back of your neck before you even get in the rink, with all the statues of the greats out front, right, and all that. So there's this. Maybe we need to do a little more investigating into what went into this survey. Is it beer potency? Is it ease of scanning tickets at the door? Is it menu selection? Which, in that case, I would be out because I don't need much. We've had this discussion. I don't need the sushi and the freaking shrimp scampi that you get at Scotiabank Arena for Leafs games. Give me a damn hot dog and a Diet Coke, and let's go. LFG.
Yeah. Maybe some popcorn in the third period, right? That's about it.
Right. Yeah. Jennifer from the Four Seasons watching, she says, I've only been to Edmonton, Calgary, and Winnipeg. Winnipeg, I felt, had the greatest atmosphere, but the beer selection is terrible. Again, I can't get in on reasons. One, I don't drink anymore, and two, as a recovering alcoholic, I would drink anything. So I don't care. That was never a problem for me either. It's got alcohol in it? Great. I'll take two.
Yeah.
So, anyways, from the Puck and Pigskin podcast, she says, but you have your own bar and washrooms up there. I guess he's talking, who are you talking to? Anyways, I feel like, do you have any more points on NHL fan experience before we delve a little more into Grey Cup talk and the rest?
No, just other than my mind is racing to the fact that,
of course, it always is.
We're going to have to hit them all, right? And we're going to have to do a bracket, and we're going to have to award it ourselves. And the only way we're going to be able to do that is we're going to have to be able to, now this is, again, probably going to take a year or more to put together, but probably need fans. We'll probably need to bring on some people that are going to have to go and take in these experiences, because you and I in 1 year, we're not going to hit every single arena, are we? So we'll need some help.
No. But like I say, I've been to most, and Vegas is number one. Vegas is number one. There's, and I'll say, watch your feet. I'm going to drop a couple names here. But after the first game, I went with my brother, and the general manager of the Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon, texted me, and he goes, "What did you think?" And I said, "Crim." I didn't know where to look. Like, so many things were going off. I was shocked, and I think it was either him or Lawless said, yeah, the players get caught in TV timeouts looking around, forgetting about the game. There's so much stuff going on in Vegas. And the 25-minute pregame show with the live actors and actresses, it's mind-boggling. Question from the Leafs fan. Ryan Marushak writes in from the Bridge City, and he says, Darren, does Ho-Sang get an opportunity with getting an NHL contract with the Leafs with Marner out long-term? And there's your breaking news today. Mitch Marner's gone to long-term injured reserve with the Leafs today. Hasn't played since colliding with Jake Muzzin in practice. Ho-Sang going to be the guy?
Probably not. That would be my guess. We all saw the skill of Ho-Sang as he's coming up. We all saw the controversies, too. We think he is, we think he's the next McDavid, or we think he's got this high-end potential, and he does. We've seen it, but we saw it with Robbie Shrimp, too. It almost feels like the same guy. Now, maybe he will get an opportunity. Obviously, you would look to fill a skill position with another skilled guy. Ho-Sang's a skilled guy who's played pretty well. So I'd look at it for sure. Marner is out 3 to 4 weeks with that shoulder injury, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't think it's a slam dunk, though.
I wanted to mention that it is the birthday of a couple of our viewers, thanks to our text community alerting us to that. 902-518-3033. You'll join our text community. Ron Thompson is in Calgary, Alberta. It's his birthday today. We shot him a text, and he says, thanks, guys. You rock. Andy Forward is in St. John's, Michigan, and sent him a birthday text. He says, thanks, just about to tune in. How about that?
A happy birthday, guys.
How about that?
Exactly. Our poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is this. Clark and I were having a mild arm wrestle over the topic. He wanted to go NHL again, and I said, we did NHL yesterday. Let's do CFL today. And let's just go with the low-hanging fruit. Who wins the 108th Grey Cup? And at press time, 60% of respondents on Twitter are saying the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will win the CFL championship this Sunday at Tim Hortons Field in Hamilton, Ontario. 60% on Twitter. What are they saying on YouTube, Clark? Or do you have a sample size? 70% saying the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will capture the Grey Cup on Sunday. 6 p.m. Eastern kickoff, by the way. And yeah, but if you missed it earlier, betregal.net has the Blue Bombers at 2.5-point favorites. The Moose and I think that is kind of skinny.
Very.
I think that's kind of skinny. We'll get into more of those matchups. Get into the matchups later on. And by the way, coming up next, Mike Richards from Sauga 960 News Talk Radio 960 Mississauga, Ontario. He'll have a lot of Grey Cup thoughts. But let's finish this up on the curling. We got to do it. It's Canada's daytime sports talk show. Brendan Botcher has provided his reasoning for the lineup rupture within the Canadian men's curling champions that left Darren Moulding on the outs and had the sports observers engrossed by the unexpected divorce just 3 months before the Tim Hortons Brier. Brendan Botcher said, chemistry is a tough one. It really is. An in-person meeting Friday night in Edmonton was followed by an online statement from the rink announcing Moulding's departure, which came a week after the rink's disappointing performance at Canada's Olympic curling trials. The post included a line that Moulding was taking time away from the game for personal reasons, something the veteran third described on Twitter as complete BS. Botcher, the skip, apologized Sunday for the statement's wording during a solo media availability on a Curling Canada Zoom call, stating that while he felt the line was somewhat misinterpreted, he regretted any confusion it may have caused. There's more, blah, blah, blah. While Dean Moulding pulled back the curtain on what he felt led to the split with his heart on the sleeve comments a day earlier, Brendan Botcher declined to get into the minutia of either of their sit-down session or the team's dynamics. Botcher said, "There's never truly a great time to make changes. As a skip, I have a responsibility to my team to ensure the right fit and chemistry, and that's my focus moving forward." The more I read this, and by the way, for a team ranked 6th in the world that has made 4 straight Brier final appearances, it was a stunner, of course, even on the heels of a mediocre 3-5 showing at the trials. Team Botcher will wear Team Canada's colors at the March 14th to 13th Brier in Lethbridge. The more I read this, well, people don't really seem to like Brendan Botcher. He's the captain. He's the coach. If he wants to get rid of Dean Moulding, and who knows what happened on the ice or in the locker room at SaskTel Center at the the Olympic trials. They fell on their face. Something happened. He felt he needed a change. So what more needs to be said? The more I read about it, the more I realize, what's the big deal here?
Well,
what do you think?
Yeah, I saw a lot of the comments in the interview with Darren Moulding, and when
Dean Moulding.
No, it's Darren.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all good. But when you're right, Botcher's the skip. He's got to make the calls. Now, I don't think Moulding played very well in the curling trials. Now, Botcher didn't play very good either. So they were both kind of bad. But in Moulding's kind of interview, he talked about, he's also the vice skip. So he wants to have more of a say in things. He wants prize money distributed evenly, wants everything to be fair. And it sounds like Brendan Botcher just wants to say it's my way or the highway, and doesn't really want a lot of input, wants a lot of yes men on the team. Now, granted, whatever they've been doing for the last number of years has worked. And at the end of the day, the skip's got to make the call. It's his team. He's the one calling the shots. They'll debate shots. They'll discuss different strategies. And at the end of the day, he's got to pull the trigger. So if there's upset, if it's contentious, then you got to make a move. And if it's not the right move, if Botcher's the problem, well, they're not going to win, right? You lose Moulding, you're third. He's a very good player. He'll get picked up somewhere else. Then they won't play very well. If it clears everything up, then we know it was the right decision.
You're right, and I apologize. I went back and read the story. Dean Moulding is a friend of mine from PA. I'm getting old, Darren.
It's all good.
These mental slips happen.
How about
we'll see you back in hour 2. Hour 2, what do you say?
Yeah, we'll see you then.
Mike Richards joins us next, and Taco Time viewer takeover coming up as well. You're watching Canada's daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including gorgeous Florida. Also live on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
The Rod Pedersen Show continues on a Tuesday, December the 7th. Grey Cup week as the trophy arrives in Hamilton today. Welcome back to the program, everybody. It's our distinct pleasure. I don't think you saw it earlier, so I'll say it again. Whenever I see Mike Richards' name on the guest list docket, I'm excited. Let's bring him in from Saga 960. Real news, real talk, real guy, Mike Richards. How excited are you, Michael, for the big 108th Grey Cup in Hamilton?
First of all, where the hell are you? How come you get this? A Windsor? You're one of the royal family all of a sudden? Down in a
lucky, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's very similar to Hamilton, actually, this time of year. What a bit of irony. I'm very excited because I didn't even think Hamilton would be there. I grew up a Ticats fan, and looking at the almost disastrous season that they had, they were hardly healthy at any given point. They had an offensive line that was just looking at the defensive line and saying, "Hey, do you want to hit this guy? You want to hit him? Because you can hit him on this play."
That's right.
It just really seemed like they were unsure. There wasn't continuity. I looked at the play calling offensively, and I really don't. Just a team that at some point I wasn't sure if they would show up. And of course, Dane Evans not really playing all that much due to injury and whatever else was going on there. So the fact that they got it together, typically for Toronto, right in time for Toronto to kind of break their hearts and have a big play on special teams and then end up winning and going to the Grey Cup and then hosting it in their own backyard is honestly something I didn't see happening. But Rod, as you know, it's a CFL. Almost anything can happen. Just wait 5 minutes. I mean, for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the only team that was going to stop them was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they almost did that. They came close.
Yeah, 1.3 million tuned in for that West final game, close to 1 million for the East final game. And let me backtrack for a sec. This Toronto-Hamilton, the fan thing and the players involved after the game has gone eerily quiet, which I think is not necessarily a good thing because I think a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. When you've seen the video and so forth, Mike, just as a Southern Ontario guy, what does that make you feel? Because it's kind of gross. What did you think when you saw that?
Well, whenever I see fan interaction, it's always gross, Rod. I mean, I just, it just means you have no respect for the professional athletes on the field. You got no respect for humanity. The moment you feel you can throw something or spit on somebody, the moment you think that's okay, I've never understood it. If I was beside a guy who was doing that, I really seriously would grab him by the collar. Like, I don't have a problem doing stuff like that because it would get ugly. But that guy never would have made it to the side of the field to spit on a guy. And if he did, I'd bring him down. I would. I honestly would. I cannot handle these athletes out there who are giving it all. And if you've ever been on the sidelines watching a football game, if you've seen it up close, when you see what they have to go through to actually get there, and then some dick is going to sit there and spit or throw or chuck something on there, I have no feelings for them, literally. So if a player got overly rambunctious and wanted to just, knee the guy in the ribs, I got no problem with it because the guy's a knob. And it's sickening to think, again, that there's individuals who think it's funny. I mean, explain it to me. What was to be gained by that? Are you showing off in front of your loser friends who probably date their own moms? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I've never understood it.
No, me either. And by the way, we've already given it probably more time than we should, but these aren't fans. I shouldn't have even said a Ticats fan. You're an idiot. Go celebrate with your own team at their locker room. What are you going to the opposition locker room for, to rub it in their face? It's just stupid. But to happier times, news release came out Sunday night from the CFL that the 108th Grey Cup is sold out. They've actually added room in the end zones. You probably saw that, Mike, because the Ticats are in it. So what do you expect Sunday for an atmosphere in Tim Hortons Field and so forth, and for the game itself?
It will be excellent. I mean, this will be outstanding. The Steel Town, when they are engaged, it's a very good CFL town. You can't say that a whole bunch about those of them in the East, but Hamilton is very different. It is culturally. I mean, if you've been there for anything in the last 50 years, like the buses are gold and black. Most of the stuff is painted gold and black. There's still a hardcore and a love for this city. There's a love for Bob Young, the caretaker, and what he's done for this team. Orlando, for as long as he's going to be there. I'm kind of afraid what's going to happen in the offseason, but a player's coach, a people's coach, and they will be energized because, again, I think they felt the way that a lot of Ticat fans did, which is, I don't know if they're going to be there or not. I didn't know if they'd make it. Now that they do, you're probably going to see Dane, which is the guy that you should be watching if you're a Ticat fan. Look, it's the CFL, and I've seen odd games where the team coming into it who shouldn't or didn't belong there looked like it was going to be a blowout. It wasn't. I go back to a Ticat team, actually, that went to in BC Place against the Edmonton Eskimos. So that's the Tracy Ham, Damon Allen, and Matt Dunnigan, I guess, was the guy on that team. And they went in there, was it 86? And they didn't belong there. 85? They didn't belong there. And they just went absolutely bananas. And the only thing I said that I would, because Winnipeg is the best team in the league. Winnipeg's been the most consistent. They've been the best coached. They on all sides of the ball, both the defensive side, the offensive line. They really are the best team in the league. But now it's going to come to a one-off, and we've seen this before in the league. It's going to depend on, quite frankly, the composure of the teams that are there and the energy, because football's a spiritual game. So if you're Hamilton, all of a sudden it's a home game. So I expect this thing to be close. Obviously, I still believe that Winnipeg is the better team, but Hamilton has that weird, coming out of the clouds, the blue collar, steel town, and then, a lot of the fans that will show up. I mean, they've been going for decades. If there's a Grey Cup where the underdog is going to have an upset, and I'm looking at it from a gambling perspective as well, you might take the points. I think they bet it down to 4, but if you're going to get plus 4.5, I think you got to take the Cats.
Mike, you get a twinkle in your eye when you talk about the CFL and this Grey Cup match. You love it.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. My family, my dad was taught by Ivor Wynn. He said nothing makes you feel older than going into a stadium that has the name of it. So Tim Hortons Field, even though it's new, it's still same old Hamilton. It's just it's a whole family thing for us. I will not be there in Hamilton because I had not made plans for it. But you can bet that it's going to be a beauty. All the events will be sold out. The Box J boys will be on a roll. The Bomber fans are great fans. Look, this is the matchup of what people thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year. It just didn't play out during the year like that was going to happen. Winnipeg, yes. Hamilton, no.
Well, I don't want to let you go. I guess just one last one. All year I had going into the year, I'd picked Saskatchewan, Hamilton, and then it became very evident that Winnipeg was the best team in the West. I think a rematch of the last Grey Cup is a pretty good storyline. Don't you think?
I think it's a very good storyline. And look, if you want to learn anything about football, if you watch that horrible game last night in Buffalo. Now, there's going to be a lot of things said about it. I mean, Mac Jones threw 3 passes. I mean, the reason that it works and they work is they simply have the mad genius as the coach, the hoodie, who I don't like at all. I mean, I don't see anyone have more lack for humanity than that knob. But the fact is, he just outcoached Buffalo. I don't know what the coaching staff was thinking. But when you can run the ball, 46 times for 222 yards, he just really, and this is really the God's honest truth about the hoodie. He just needs one more point than you. And if he thinks he can keep the ball for the entire game and win by 1 point, then that's how he's going to win. When I look at this Grey Cup, when I look at what you need to do, depending on what the field's going to be like, you might want to take a look at game planning, because that's what won it for the Patriots. That's why the Patriots are going to go on. I think Buffalo's in a huge amount of trouble because they're not playing playoff type football. So in this game coming up for the Grey Cup, who is going to prepare their team the best? Coach, look, Orlando on one side, Coach O'Shea on the other. I mean, the two great guys, two outstanding individuals. But it's going to come down to the details. And you know what? It won't surprise me, again, if it comes down to special teams. And the Hamilton kicking game isn't something I brag about. I just think it is going to come down to, a 3-point game, but it's coming down to game planning. If it gets a little nasty, if it's a little cold, is someone going to say, well, at some point we got to either pound the ball, or the plays that we got to run have to be smart enough that they're sure enough they're going to dink and dunk. Are you going to run bubble screens? Are you going to run, what exactly is it that you're running that is going to work on a day that's a one-off and a cold day? Because last night told you everything. Good coaching still counts.
Yeah, no kidding. Mike, you're looking great. Wonderful Grey Cup preview. Enjoy the game, my friend. Good seeing you.
And did you ever say where you are? What are you, relocation?
No,
did you do something bad?
I'm in South Florida, Boca Raton, Florida. Ever heard of it?
The poor people haven't. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly. That's where I am. Thanks, Michael.
Take care, guys.
The great raw Mike Richards joining us from Sauga 960 Mississauga. We'll be right back with Taco Time Viewer Takeover, a sports update and more. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds. Feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy. It's pretty impressive.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to RodPedersenShop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at RodPedersenShop.com.
Digging into Taco Time viewer takeover. And I'm not going to throw it at Clark now. We'll have him get it ready for hour 2 when we come back. With the we have a leader for the top comment of the week already. You're going to want to see who it is. Stay tuned. But as we open up the text line, and it's been open for the last hour, 902-518-3033, talking about the best NHL fan experiences. There's a survey that was posted last night or yesterday on Twitter. Gentleman sent it to me by the handle ESPN Reacts, and the Calgary Flames were ranked number 1 in all of the National Hockey League. The Vegas Golden Knights were ranked second last, and right there, you lost me because I have them at number 1. Jeff Caldwell is watching in Redmond, Oregon, and he says NHL ticket prices are what keep me going to WHL games. I hear you, man. John Ferguson in London, Ontario writes in. He says, Rod, John here watching on Game Plus on Rogers Cable. When the Rod Pedersen Show goes to Las Vegas, let me know, and I'll be part of the RP Army. Winnipeg on Sunday by 9. And by the way, I'm not sure why, but your hair looks better in Florida. It must like it there. Great show as usual. Oh, John, were you watching when we had John Lynch on Fridays, the Don Cherry of football? I just talked to Lynch the other day. The Don Cherry of football. He says, your hair looks fantastic. Did you get new hair? Nope. It's tough tribe. It's tough tribe for men. That's got to be what it is. Greg Thalheimer is watching in Vernon, BC, and he says the United Center in Chicago is great. No lineup, and the anthem is a must. I've never been to the United Center in Chicago. On my bucket list of 3 U.S. cities is Chicago, Jacksonville, and New Orleans, and NHL will be on the list there. 1 minute of play in hour 1. The Western Sports Update. The Western Hockey League announced that Portland Winterhawks forward Jaden DeRoe has been named the WHL Player of the Week. The Tampa Bay Lightning prospect led all Dubs skaters with 10 points in 3 outings for the Winterhawks last week. Brandon Wheat Kings goalie Ethan Kruger has been named WHL Goalie of the Week. He posted a 2.001 goals against last week and a .945 save percentage. Maple Leafs added forward Mitch Marner and defenseman Rasmus Sundin to the injured reserve list today, and lone forward Joey Anderson to their AHL affiliate. Marner hasn't skated since colliding with teammate Jake Muzzin at practice on Friday. Winnipeg Jets look to keep rolling at home when they welcome the Carolina Hurricanes to Canada Life Center tonight. Jets 9-3-1 at home. Flames are on the road to take on the Sharks. The end of the night with a 3-point cushion over the Oilers. They're home to the Wild. Hour 2 coming up after this break on Game Plus.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
If you look at the video of the Ticat fan, clearly the aggressor, the guy with the Ticat flag tied around his neck, who was into Grandpa's cough medicine. Oh boy, this is looking like a scene from Slapshot. The players should not have to put up with it. It's not pay your ticket and do whatever the hell you want. It's not. It's pay for your ticket, watch the game, and go home. So he deserved everything. I wish he would have got more.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It's hour 2 of the RP Show, coming to you from sunny Florida. One half of the show anyways, and the other half from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle in Canada. Hour 2 is brought to you by Great Western's Original 16 beer. And I did not finish up the sports update because we ran out of time at the end of hour 1. So I'd like to just throw that in there right now, if you don't mind, before we bring the Moose back in. The New England Patriots are comfortable away from home, obviously, no matter what the conditions. The Patriots improved to 6-0 on the road with a 14-10 win on Monday Night Football. The wind and cold at Orchard Park severely limited the Patriots' passing game, with quarterback Mac Jones attempting just 3 passes, but they won the game, their 7th in a row on Monday Night Football. And to the NBA, Canada's Andrew Wiggins made a career-high 8 3-pointers, and the Golden State Warriors beat the Orlando Magic 126-95 in the association last night. Little Canadian note for you here on Canada's daytime sports talk show, the Sports Update. As always, is for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Book your group or business Christmas party now. And also for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, where you'll never need to ask to have the CFL games put on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. Let's bring the Moose back in now. Moose, we covered a lot of ground since we last saw you. Mike Richards was with us from Saga 960 in Mississauga, Ontario, with a wonderful interview, which is a tremendous preview for the 108th Grey Cup. And we're going to dabble back into hockey here right away. Some NFL talk, and we got some really wonderful comments have come in here. But he mentioned that he thought the 2.5 line, while you and I feel that it's skinny, that Winnipeg's favored by 2.5, he thinks that might even be, he just thinks it's going to be a closer game. He's not necessarily picking a winner per se. He thinks it could be less than 2.5 points. You go along with that?
No, I don't. I don't. I think that spread is awful thin. I think what's going to happen, I'm going to Bet Regal right now to throw some change on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at that line. I think that's a very favorable line. The way they've dominated all year, the way they played. Coming off the way they played against Saskatchewan, though, in that weather, maybe there's a little chink in the Blue Bomber armor, right? Those interceptions. But that, I think, is an anomaly. I don't think that's the trend. I think that's the anomaly. So I would go that way. What's going to happen, I think, is the betting public's going to throw all their money on Winnipeg, and that's going to force the odds makers and the bookies to say, we better move that line up so that some money comes in on Hamilton. We got to get it more appealing for Hamilton fans. So when you get that spread, it'll probably move to about 4.5, and that'll move some money back towards the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
So we're into Taco Time viewer takeover. Every Tuesday is Taco Tuesday at the 120 Canadian locations of Taco Time for only $2 each. The question is, do you order hard or soft shell tacos, beef or veggie? And Darren and I have both agreed it's hard shells, beef tacos. End of story. Don't add us. And again, hour 2 is brought to you by Original 16 beer. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you today. And while I say that it's viewer takeover, Darren, watching in Salt Lake City, Utah, he was talking about coaching because Mike Richards was saying you can't underestimate coaching in games like this, in conditions like this. Darren Workman says good coaching always comes through in a big game. Utah smoked Oregon twice in 13 days to get to the Rose Bowl because they outcoached the Ducks. Coaching matters at all levels of athletics, and I appreciate Darren watching every day and chiming in. Mandy in Edmonton says it's so hard to guess who will win the Grey Cup. Ticats are hungry and are at home. Winnipeg is dominant throughout the season and still on a run since last Grey Cup. I opened the week saying Winnipeg by 7. I'll stay with that. But with the college football talk, man, I can't even begin to tell you the talk around here, Darren, just on sports talk radio, what I'm overhearing in the coffee shops, Brooklyn Water Bagels, where I picked up my coffee this morning, college football, college football, college football. As I sit and broadcast this show back to Canada, largely, although we do air in 31 U.S. states, and they love the Canadian football talk, I wish there was a following for major junior hockey to the degree that there is for college football in the United States. And I've often said that they're very similar. The athletes aren't being paid, really, for the most part. The ages are similar. Major junior hockey is age 16 to 20. What's college football? 18 to 22. You know what I mean? And it just seems like the weirdest thing. In Canada, major junior hockey and any amateur athletics was struggling pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic's almost not just based on attendance, quashed them right out in a lot of ways. But in here, in America, and particularly South Florida, I told you yesterday, 90% of the talk on sports talk radio is all about college football. And it's not just about the Miami Hurricanes, who made a coaching change yesterday, but about the semifinals and the college football playoff. It's mind-boggling, and it's exciting. But what gets you on the hype train? The talk, the hype. And I just feel like that's where a lot of the Canadian sports have kind of fallen off the radar for whatever the reason. I don't know. But I'm looking at the bowls, the bowl games, and which ones that I would like to go to. And one is right down the street here, the Boca Raton Bowl at FAU Stadium, Florida Atlantic University. I looked at the photo of the stadium. I'm like, what? This is here? This is amazing. And tickets, by the way, $63 for the Boca Raton Bowl coming up in a couple weeks' time. But you see what I'm saying? It's just like major junior hockey, because that's really my guilty pleasure, if that's the thing. It's what I love the most. I just don't know why Canadians don't get behind it, other than the World Juniors, right? They pack the barns Red Deer and Edmonton are going to be full for the World Juniors, but I've often said, why can't you buy the tickets and fill the barns the other 50 weeks out of the year, or whenever the seasons are on? I don't understand it.
It's hard. It's tough because there's so much, competition for your attention throughout the years. So we want to really pick and choose when we give, certain things our attention. Look at baseball for us, but you and I aren't big baseball guys. Traditionally, when it gets into the playoffs, so we kind of pay attention. When it gets to the World Series, you've got my attention. Look at what happened with the Canadian Football League. The games were kind of ho-hum a little bit for most of the season, right? It's not typically that way. But as the playoffs came near and things started to matter, all of a sudden, we've got the attention of the country, and over 1 million people are watching, these semifinal games. So I think it's same with Major Junior. Throughout the year, 68 games, 1-1-1, they're all the same. We don't really get that excited. But when the World Juniors comes around, or the playoffs, or a rivalry game, you've got my attention.
Well, and hey, I did not expect to get into this topic today. Can I tell you this, by the way, Darren, since you are my boss? Every single morning when my feet hit the floor, I'm excited for the show. I am. And that is a great feeling. And I know yours are too. And I assume the guys are in the back as well. I'm excited for talks like this. And as are our viewers too. But my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat says, looks like very few people watch university hockey in the USA. However, college football is huge. Chris Bird in King City, Ontario says, watch TV. What's on to watch? College football or major junior hockey? And let me come back on that, because that's like literally my favorite topic right there. I'm not joking. Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg says the Miami Hurricanes are probably bigger than the Dolphins. Well, maybe not this season, as they weren't very good. LOL. But they were 7-5 and they fired the coach. They're going to be in a bowl game probably. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But maybe it's the difference between America and Canada. When I've told people down here, I don't really understand this bowl system thing. They're not like, oh, you're an idiot. What are you even talking? You have a sports show? Wait. That's what you'd get in Canada. Here it's like, hey, well, come on in. We'll teach you. You know what? It's confusing to us too. You know what I mean? It's amazing. Just a difference in the attitude.
Yeah.
Randolph Charles, watching in Ontario, says, a Scottish-born kicker will come through for the Ticats, and they will upset the Bombers 13-10 in a defensive struggle. Oh, wait, that was 72. No, because it was Saskatchewan-Hamilton in 1972. And I would encourage all and sundry between now and Sunday to go to YouTube, especially if you're a Saskatchewan fan, and a lot are watching on YouTube right now, and watch the 1972 Grey Cup. Even, Darren, you would enjoy it because it's in color. It's pretty good quality. And Hamilton beat Saskatchewan on that day. But I had a lot of friends, still have a lot of friends that were on that team. Alan Ford, for one, Ron Lancaster. And there was an incident in the first quarter where a Ticat, they scored a passing touchdown. The Ticat was clearly out of bounds. As you watch you could tell from YouTube that he was out of bounds. But the touchdown stood, and I'm like, Al, that shouldn't have been a touchdown. He's like, well, we knew it at the time, but what are you going to do? Right? There was no video replay. Go back and watch it.
Yeah.
So if my number one topic is major junior hockey and college football on TV and just sports on TV in general, my number two favorite topic is video replay, as you know. Yes. But back to the Chris in King City, Ontario, when he says, well, what's on TV right now, college football or major junior hockey? You flip it. The argument is this. It's a chicken and the egg thing. It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. Ta-da! The opportunity portal is opening. Moose. The networks say we don't air Canadian university football because nobody watches. Somewhere along the line, you got to be the one that jumps and says, we're going to come hell or high water, we're going to televise this. Because that's what made the World Juniors special. That television's what's made everything special.
But when did
you know
when
what
did
I
the
mean?
World Juniors come on the radar for TSN? Do you remember the year?
Early 90s.
Early 90s.
Early 90s.
You look at what ESPN did too. They didn't have access to the major sports, right? They didn't have access to the NFL. They didn't have access to the NBA or MLB or the NHL. They only had access to yacht sailing and all these other obscure things at the time.
NHL hockey. NHL hockey.
Yeah, that was obscure, right? They had access to bid crazy amounts of money on NCAA Division II college football, right? Because they couldn't get anywhere near a Division I. And they started building credibility, and then overpaid for other rights. And you see where they've gone to now. TSN may be the same thing. It's a fledgling network. It's a young network. They need to put things on the air. And they take things that are good, like good sports. Junior hockey's great product. University football is good. And they make it a show, World Juniors. And it sticks. Well, they don't need to take those chances anymore, right? Now they're at the top bidding on Tier 1 rights. So would a third network come on board and really want to wedge their way in? Well, how they would do it is wedging their way in by snapping up major junior rights, university football, other Olympic sports in their world championship seasons, kind of like the CBC, and wedge your way in until you have some credibility to buy those national Tier 1 rights.
Well, and it's why I'm fascinated with what's going on right now. And by the way, Justin Wolf watching on YouTube says college football changed it this year that to be eligible for a bowl, you only need 6 wins instead of needing to be over 500. Too many teams became eligible. They had to make new bowls. Haha. So again, it's just been unbelievable. Just the friendships that I'm making down here and the people that I'm talking to. But they literally put their arm around you. It's confusing to us too. Let's figure it out. Let's Google it.
Yeah.
At home, everybody just wants to throw fire at you. You idiot. But then the other thing is back to that, what's on television. Chris in King City, Ontario, it's a great point. All day Saturday for years, it's college football on TSN and all the American, CBS, NBC, ABC. So you got the college football on. You don't really have major junior hockey until this year. Although Sportsnet was carrying it, a game of the week for years and years and years, but the ratings were nothing. But the other day I was watching SportsCenter and TSN's, and without a word of a lie, maybe you were watching too, they showed Connor Bedard's apple from the other night in the game in PA. The misplay of the day was in the Prince Albert Raiders Regina Pats game. They were showing lacrosse highlights. I'm like, what decade is this? Because it was literally early 90s. And what I find fascinating about it is I love it. I'm here for it. That's what I felt TSN was built on.
Yeah.
What's made them make the decision to go back? And then we got the Vanier Cup on CBC. What decade is this?
I know.
What changed? How did this happen?
I know. I love it. It's, I don't know. Things go around in cycles. They absolutely do. And the lacrosse is interesting because that league is growing. And it's becoming now, when they first got into the National Lacrosse League, it feels like it wasn't like a Tier 1 league. It was, it's our national sport, but a bit obscure, a bit different. Put it on TV. This is cool. We don't have rights to other things right now, so let's get the Lacrosse League rights. Well, now they do have some NHL rights. They've got some NFL rights in Canada, the CFL, some baseball, that type of thing. And now the Lacrosse League in all these new markets that TSN wants to be in and growing across the country. And it's now a little bit more shiny, in terms of being a Tier 1 league. They're back in. ESPN's on board, so that makes us look pretty good, So that happens, and then the CBC starts to realize, wait a second, let's get back to what we do well, which is put on Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday, put on Canadian sports, amateur sports throughout the rest of the weekend, and Bob's your uncle. I love where we're at right now.
Bob's your uncle.
One last comment here on Taco Time viewer takeover before we just break and give you more comments. But Chris Bird, I feel like we're having a running commentary with him, and it's a good one. He says new networks have a tough road to hoe in light of Twitch and other streaming services. My take on that is that's the network's own fault. Those smaller leagues have gone to Twitch and streaming services because they can't get on television. And that fan-controlled football league that I fell in love with last spring, it's like 35,000 viewers on Twitch for fan-controlled football, the league that Josh Gordon and Johnny Manziel played in. 35,000. That's more than watches the CFL on ESPN, I think, or in the neighborhood. So the point is the networks drove the leagues to Twitch. It's their own fault. So anyways, we'll take a timeout and come back with more, okay? And Leah Hextall from ESPN joins us later on in hour 2. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is, and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head. That could cause a traumatic brain injury that, depending on how severe it is, could take months to heal or leave you with long-term effects. Effects like getting debilitating headaches for the rest of your life. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
RP Show continues on a Tuesday, Canada's daytime sports talk show on this December the 7th. I'm going to get to a sports update before we bring the Moose back in. Stuff that's gone on already today on this Tuesday. Toronto Blue Jays slugger Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was named the winner of the Tip O'Neill Award Tuesday morning as Canadian Baseball Player of the Year. The award, presented by the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, goes to the Canadian player judged to have excelled in individual achievement and team contribution while adhering to baseball's highest ideals. Vladdy, of course, is a Montreal product, but we still don't know if he'll play for Team Canada internationally. I say he should play for whomever he wants. His father, of course, from Puerto Rico. Grey Cup week is underway in Hamilton with today's arrival of the CFL Championship Trophy at Bayfront Park. The Tiger Cats will entertain the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Sunday in a rematch of the 2019 Grey Cup. Bombers favored by 2.5 points, according to BetRegal.net. It's a busy night in the National Hockey League with 10 games. Both Ontario teams are on home ice. Ottawa meets the Islanders on a 3-game win streak, and Toronto faces Columbus. Earlier today, Mitch Marner placed on long-term injured reserve by the Leafs. Also tonight, Montreal welcomes Tampa Bay. Stanley Cup rematch there. Edmonton home to Minnesota. The Jets entertain Carolina. And the late game has Calgary at Vegas. And Alabama quarterback Bryce Young and Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson are among the 4 finalists for the Heisman Trophy. The honor will be presented on Saturday. Young and Hutchinson led their teams to conference titles this season. Pittsburgh quarterback Kenny Pickett and Ohio State pivot C.J. Stroud are the other finalists. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis, and for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars. If we can bring the Moose back in from the bunker in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Just a couple more comments on the television discussion from Ryan in Saskatoon. He says, I remember as a youngster watching the Roughnecks and Rock on Sportsnet. Glad to see it back on TV. The game is fast and fun to watch. He's referring to the National Lacrosse League, of course. Grant in Kelowna, BC is watching. He says, maybe the Canucks should bring back Trevor Linden. Just hold there on that point for a second.
Spicy.
The Canucks winning last night in their Bruce Boudreau debut, 4-0 over the LA Kings. They still don't have a GM. DG watching in the Bridge City says, morning, guys. Good point on the college football, Roddy. In Oklahoma, an estimated 2,500 people showed up at the airport on an hour's notice to greet the new coach, Brent Venables, with a quick assembled ceremony, including the entire marching band on the runway. Where would you ever see that in Canada? Maybe only if a team won the Stanley Cup, and that only, but not for the hiring of a new coach. Think of Craig Dickinson or Sheldon Keefe getting hired, for example. Very little fanfare. And from Steve McIntosh, watching in Hamilton on Game Plus TV, says, hi, Rod. A video is on Twitter showing Chris Edwards grabbing a Ticats flag off someone before the second half started. And I read that comment last, Moose, because I want your take on the Hamilton-Toronto fan fights, I guess, if you will. I mean, more video has emerged, as the gentleman just pointed out, of stuff from earlier in the football game. You know, I'm all for a Stage 5 gong show. Believe me, I am. But this is nothing but bad. This is nothing but bad. And then none of this is a reflection on the Canadian Football League because, listen, you being there and me being here has provided a tremendous just perspective on everything. And the American coverage of what happened in Toronto the other day, brawl breaks out at CFL game, you know, with a still shot of Chris Edwards with the fan. I'm like, no, that's not what happened. But does anybody really know what happened? And this is just dreadful for the Canadian Football League, and it's not their fault. At least I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's not, because this happens in every league, right? In every sport, in every country, all across the world. Nobody's immune to this. And nobody can predict what your fans are going to do when they start having a few drinks and, you know, win or lose, right? And it's hard to predict what people are going to do in those moments. And so, no, this isn't a league fault, a league issue. This isn't necessarily an organizational team issue. Now, somebody needs to be the bigger man or the bigger woman in the situation. So, you know, you want to think it's the teams because we hold our athletes, we hold our personnel to a higher standard, right? We always have. So we think they should restrain themselves, but you can't. I was telling stories of fans throwing snowballs and hitting people in faces, coaches and players. How do you restrain yourself, you know, after you just take that in the face for so long? Or, you know, when beer cans are thrown on you and you're being treated so disrespectfully. Words are one thing, But actions are a complete another. And we've seen through most of the incidents and that we brought up yesterday that usually when it's physical, when a fan will throw something or hit somebody or do that, it's usually fair game, whatever happens after that, right? When it's words and a player will do something, that's a completely different situation. But no, this isn't a CFL issue. It's just wild what happened.
Yeah, well, I feel like, by the way, it's gone quiet. I mean, we haven't really even talked about it today on the show until Stephen Hamilton brought it up. I was watching SportsCenter and I saw Naylor's report on it and so forth. But I think that the fact that it is so quiet isn't necessarily a good thing. I mean, I've got personal friends involved, and frankly, I had people asking me on Twitter about my friends being involved. I'm like, I don't know enough. Wasn't there, didn't see it all. I've seen the video. Doesn't look good. John in Edmonton says TMZ covered it, Rod. All kinds of U.S. outlets covered it. And you make a really good point, Darren, about that this happens in all leagues. Remember last year when they came back with crowds in the NBA? It was there was like 3 or 4 incidents in the NBA in a week.
That's right.
Of fans coming onto the court and throwing popcorn, throwing beers. So it's not just the CFL. I think we do need to remind ourselves of that. Let me just get to more of Taco Time viewer comments here, if you don't mind. Taco Time, by the way, Taco Time Canada has over 120 locations in the country. But there isn't one in Miami as well. I would like to point that out. Mandy in Edmonton says fans must be out of control because they've been cooped up too long. Maybe. Who knows what makes somebody do something like that? But I'll say it again. This just dawned on me last night. I think I said it to you on the phone, or maybe it was this morning. What are you doing as a Hamilton fan at the Argo locker room causing problems? If you were an actual fan, you'd be at your own team's locker room, celebrating your team and cheering them on. You're just looking for trouble.
Yeah.
Going to the Argo locker room. And I hope that that's factored into it. When discipline's being handed out and that kind of thing. Everybody seems to have opinions on this. Well, Safe Moondog, that's an account on YouTube. Safe Moondog says, at least the Americans know the CFL was playing this year. Well, why does it feel like we're not getting any further ahead? My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat writes in and says, take away the alcohol factor. Yes, but they won't, because that's where they make so much money. Yeah. It's particularly an American thing, but Canada too. I remember being in Gila River Arena in Phoenix where it first dawned on me. It was 2011. It's getting to be a lot of years ago. I was still drinking then, but they were like, I ordered 2 beer, whatever they were, 12-ounce beers. They're like, oh, for $2 less, you can have a 16-ounce beer. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I? Would you like a free shot with that? Yeah. Right. But the third period early is,
sounds too good to be true.
They don't care.
No, and this happens so much in all sports,
most people
right?
Can't handle it.
Right, and look at junior hockey. This happens in junior hockey and the NHL. Fans throwing things, whatever. Usually, when they're going to the locker room. So what do? They got the big blue tunnel that gets out over top of the tunnel, and the players go underneath that, right? They don't have that in football. At least it doesn't appear that way.
No, I was trying to explain to somebody the other day about my friend with the Argos, okay, that's involved with this. And I'm like, it's like a tunnel, but it's not a tunnel. It's like a corridor on the way into the Argos locker room. And until Sunday, they never needed it.
I know.
That's the thing. Be like, what? Why is there not a why is there not a cover on that? Why is there not
will
this?
Be now.
We've never needed it until this.
Right.
Yeah. But again, I say it again. If you were an actual fan, you'd be going and celebrating your own team and not this.
Well, that's what we want.
Where do we go from here, Colin?
People will say, well, they should have, escorted people and ushered people out of the stadium. Well, that's not what we want. We look around the hockey rink and think, man, they're doing the 3 stars and there's no fans left here. I wish people would stay, for the celebration and the 3 stars and all that. So you want fans to stay longer. You want them to have a good time. You want them, and then this kind of stuff happens.
like I say, not everybody can handle it, you know? Yeah. Did you have any more thoughts? I'll say our next guest is logged in, so I'm going to we'll get to her real quickly here, but this survey from Ticket Source, best arenas for fan experience. We opened the show talking about this. I want to get into it more the rest of the way, just to swing things around a little bit. Number 1, the Calgary Flames, which, frankly, I would put pretty high. I would not put number 1. I've got Vegas number 1. Flames 1, Senators 2, Canucks 3, Blue Jackets 4, Montreal Canadiens 5. Of the top 5 teams, 4 are Canadian. If that means anything, I don't know. I don't even know where this survey was done. Ticket Source. Who are they? They say the New Jersey Devils have the worst arena experience. For fans, Vegas Golden Knights 2nd worst, Islanders 3rd worst, Florida Panthers 4th worst. I want to ask Leah Hextall next, our next guest from ESPN. I would assume she's been to the majority of NHL arenas, if not all of them. And for media, it's tough too, Darren, as you know, because you don't get the fan experience that way.
Completely.
Do you have any more thoughts on? Do you have any more? Yeah, of course. Do you have any more thoughts on this survey?
Well, yeah, it's, and what is that fan experience? Is it lineups for food and beer and bathrooms? Is it, I look at Vegas, obviously we know that is the cream of the crop. Cameron Hughes is there firing everybody up. It seems like everybody's having a great time. The atmosphere is awesome. But what does fan experience mean? I'm not really sure. Parking in and out in the building, the whole game day ease. I'm not really sure. But to have, and again, I've never been to Ottawa. I've been to Vancouver. I actually enjoyed my time in Vancouver at the Canucks games. So their experience was pretty memorable for me. I enjoyed it. I've also really enjoyed Nashville. Vegas should be up there. I don't know about Ottawa. I've never been to a game in Ottawa. That doesn't strike me as a hot ticket hockey destination. But yeah, I'll be interested to hear what Leah says.
As my sober coach, Bob Merrier, Bobby, who lives on South Beach, just down the road from me here in Miami, he says, Ottawa, the city that fun forgot. And they're listed in the top 5 for best arena experience.
Oh, Bobby.
Because you know them, it's funnier, right?
So funny. That's so good.
Dan Asham, watching in Winnipeg, says, where's the Winnipeg Jets on the list, Rod? The Winnipeg Jets are 9th. If anybody wants to know where your team is, the Jets are 9th. Yours are 10th, the Leafs, Moose.
And the Oilers?
And, according to this, my team's the Golden Knights 30th, the Panthers 28th. Yeesh. Maybe it's me. I'll see you back here for overtime, okay?
Okay.
ESPN's Leah Hextall joins us next. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Welcome back, everybody. Another beautiful day in South Florida. RPShow continues. Check the poll results as we await our next guest, Leah Hextall, not only of ESPN, but also of Sportsnet. She recently called a game on Rogers Hometown Hockey. The poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, who will win the 108th Grey Cup? Winnipeg Blue Bombers will oppose the Hamilton Tiger Cats on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern at Tim Hortons Field in the Hammer. Last report on Twitter, 62% saying the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will win the 108th Grey Cup. And wouldn't that be something? How about that, Winnipeg? You go 30 years without a Grey Cup, and then you get two. I'm told that there's an audio issue with Leah Hextall, and it must be driving her nuts to have a broadcaster kneecapped by an audio issue on her. We got it? Okay. And John in Edmonton wanted to know where the Oilers rate on the list, best arenas for fan experience. The Edmonton Oilers rank 7th. This is a very highly Canadian-weighted survey, the results of it from Ticket Source. Oilers 7th for fan experience. So let's do it now. ESPN, but also Sportsnet. Leah Hextall joins us. And thank you, Leah, for your patience. I think you're in the same place as the last time we chatted. How you doing, Leah?
I'm good, Rod. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk to you, as always. I got a lot of questions for you about your experiences and your travels. Well, actually, that's maybe where I'll start. You saw me talking about this survey. Is there a rink that stands out to you in the NHL for the best experience? And if so, what is it?
Well, first of all, I feel like I can't answer that question because I haven't been to all 32 rinks. I mean, I still haven't seen a game in Vegas. And I think that's something that everybody speaks to, is that there's no comparison. At least my colleagues, my analysts who have been around the entire league, they say Vegas just does it up right. I was really impressed with Bridgestone Arena when I was calling a game in Nashville. It was a really strong crowd there. But listen, I probably have some bias. I still think Winnipeg is one of the loudest rinks because you're right on top of them because it's a smaller size compared to some of the others. But I mean, at the end of the day, until I see all of them, I probably shouldn't say anything, but it's everywhere you go, there's those little unique things about every crowd. I mean, I was in Detroit. They've got lots of cheer about there right now. And Little Caesars Arena, what a beautiful new rink there. And the fans there were unbelievable.
And it's hard for the media, too. You make a great point about Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. For instance, when I was there sitting in the crowd, they've got these regular section mates, and they have these little cheers and chants that have to do with the game, what's going on in the game. And I'd never been there before. I'm like, what's going on here? So you kind of got to know. Did you notice that or see that going on there?
Oh, absolutely. And I have my friend Brandy, who works with me at Sportsnet. She's a huge Preds fan. So she goes down there a lot. And she was telling me it's very much like a college atmosphere. If you've ever been to see a UND game or college teams, they have the things that they do every game. And, you know, when their PA announcer comes on, Paul, and he says, final minute of play, all the fans go, thanks, Paul. And I was honestly on air, Rod, and I started laughing because I was like, that is awesome. You know, I was like, wow. And so right on air, very natural reaction was, you know, I had to let everybody know what just happened, because if you haven't experienced a game there, you're not sure, but they do have all their little things they do in Nashville, and I think that's what makes it such a special experience.
Every arena has its thing. That's the thing with these surveys. I hate to see that New Jersey's last, for instance, because I'm sure New Jersey's great, but here in Florida, I've been at almost every game of the Panthers, and when the Star Spangled Banner, when they say Rockets, red, glare, everybody screams red, and it's, if you're not ready for it, it's and then you know, and when they say night for Spencer
like
Knight,
a true north during the anthem. Yeah,
true,
no,
exactly.
and those are all the things. And same thing in Washington when they say stars, you know, and then you go to Chicago. I did my first game at the United Center this season. It's the first time I've done a game there. And even though maybe their crowds haven't been, you know, the sellouts that they're used to for the Blackhawks, that anthem was still something to experience, and how loud those fans are as it's going on. It just gives you chills.
So thank you for all of that. And speaking of chills, you did the Jets Coyotes game, and I kind of got a kick out of your tweet where you said Jets 1.0 versus Jets 2.0, and that you're old enough to get the reference. So what was it like to call that on Hometown Hockey?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, and that's the thing. We were speaking to Paul Maurice prior to the game, and the question was asked, you know, is there any relationship still between the fact that this is Jets 1.0 versus 2.0? And they're out because everybody has aged out. I mean, the only connection left between both franchises is Shane Doan. He's not playing anymore, but he's still part of the brass for the Coyotes. But there's just no connections there anymore because these players, Rod, are so young. Like, they don't remember 1997. Some of them probably weren't even born then. So it just makes you feel a little aged. I'm like, I am that old that I remember, because I remember very well when Winnipeg left to go to Arizona, and I remember all the years where they said they were coming back. And then I remember when Jets 2.0 arrived, I was here covering that. So it was a neat little thing to be a part of, but there's absolutely no really to.
You know, yeah, well, the name Barry Shenkarow, I think, makes people gnash their teeth in Winnipeg, right? Because I think he was the guy that took the Jets out of there in the first place. And the thing is, maybe the players aren't old enough, but you and I are, and people older than us. And that's the thing. I guess we can celebrate it, Leah. It means something to us. And really that's all that matters. Tell me about this Jets team. Well, that's the players are never going to get it if they weren't alive or they're not old enough. So at least we get it, I guess, is my point. But okay, let's talk about those Jets, because they had the bad start, then they got hot, then they lost, 6 or 7 in a row. Now they're getting hot again. They got Carolina in there tonight. What are the Winnipeg Jets? What are they as a team? Did we lose her? Oh, she's gone. Okay, what does she need to do? She'll be on it. Okay, he's on it with Leah. Oh boy, we were just getting into the meat of the conversation too. And she'll probably be ready here in moments. Just for how far back Leah and I go, and we talk about being old. Keystone Center, Brandon press box. I was calling Pat's Wheat Kings games and Pat's Raiders games, actually. Or sorry, Raiders Wheat Kings games, and she was right beside me 5 feet away. I still apologize for being so loud. Anyways, we lost you, Leah, right where you were starting your answer to my question of what are the Winnipeg Jets as they get ready to face Carolina tonight. Now the viewers are chiming in with their own inconsistent. They're saying, do we have Leah? Can we get her on the screen? There we go. What are the Winnipeg Jets as a team?
Rod, what I was saying was I think that they still are a really deep team. When you look at how deep they are down the middle through their centers, their ability to score, we've seen that over the last 2 games. I mean, putting up 8 spots, 7 spots against strong teams. But the fact is they got dealt a little bit of a blow early on due to COVID-19. You saw 2 of their key players in Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele out of the lineup, which really decimated their power play. They didn't have the personnel on the ice for their power play, which we're starting to see click. It's been over 44% over the last 2 games as they're starting to go number 26 and 55 respectively. But I really have to say, I think this is a team that's just going to continue to build. They have all the pieces to the puzzle, but you just mentioned their inconsistency. I don't know a team in the NHL that isn't inconsistent at this point. Look no further out of the gate, who were completely underachieving, and now they've rattled off 7 straight wins, and they're right back in there. This is a league that I think this year, every single team is really trying to find its way to string together wins. We have to remember that we've been through 2 seasons now that have been abbreviated. We're back to an 82-game schedule, but yet more teams than ever are receiving COVID-19 protocols and have players going in and out of their lineup non-stop. Every single day almost, we are seeing a player join COVID-19 protocol, which is really, it's destructive to a team finding that consistency. So I think the Winnipeg Jets finally have that in their lineup. Yes, they're going to be without Neil Pionk for 2 games due to his suspension, which happened against Toronto for the kneeing. But I think this is a team that's just going to start to do this. But we'll wait and see. They have all the pieces in the puzzle. They just got to use them.
And a lot of hockey left, for sure. Nobody wants to hear that it's early, because it's not. But the fact is there's still a lot of hockey
it's
left,
not.
and they're in a playoff spot. Yeah. Leah, lastly, what's your schedule ahead? I'm always interested to know with you national broadcasters, what is your schedule here for games?
So I'm going out on a big 10-game road trip. I got 3 games in 9 days in 3 different cities. So I am heading to Minneapolis to call Carolina and the Wild Monday. They play on Tuesday. Then from there, I head to Anaheim. And then from there, I head to Seattle. And it's going to be my first time in Seattle seeing their rink and experiencing the brand new franchise, the 32nd. So looking forward to that. So that's my schedule. It takes me all the way up. I get home on the 22nd. I got 2 days off, and then I'm down to San Jose.
And you wouldn't have it any other way. Leah, keep it up. We're following
Wouldn't
closely.
have it any other
Great
way.
job.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Great job. You've earned it. I want you to enjoy it, and I know you are. Safe travels, and we'll talk
All right.
next time.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you as well, Rod. Thank you.
Sportsnet and ESPN's Leah Hextall joining us from home. We'll be back with Overtime with Moose right after this. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall. Or you might sprain your wrist, or even fracture it. A severe wrist fracture can take at least 2 months to heal properly. And it can cause you to develop arthritis that keeps you from doing something as simple as picking up your child without pain. Slips, trips, and falls can have a lifetime impact. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RPShow gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RPShow gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
It's everybody's favorite segment, or at least a lot of people's favorite segment. Overtime, presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Like another beautiful day coming down here in South Florida. Hey, overtime for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC, the National Hockey League, and the Seattle Kraken fan club. If we can bring the Moose in. The Moose is back, right? The Greek Freak texting and says from the Four Seasons, hey, buddy, another great weekend at the Palace. UFC 269 Saturday. No cover ever, of course. 2 title fights. Oliveira versus Poirier and Nunez versus Pena. Then Grey Cup Sunday, plus 12 NFL Sunday games. We love sports at the Four Seasons Sports Palace. And I said to Yorgi, not a very good Sunday for you. Not a very good weekend, George. His Riders lost. His Leafs lost. And his Vikings lost. Oof. But he said the sun did come up, Moose. He said the sun actually came up. Can you confirm the sun did come up?
Yes, the sun came up, not as early as we'd like, but the sun did rise, and we're fine. We wake up today.
It's Taco Time viewer takeover, of course. Taco Time with over 120 locations across Canada. Regarding the best NHL fan experience, the poll from Ticket Source. Calgary number 1, New Jersey last. Sean in Vancouver's watching. He says, Amalie Arena in Tampa Bay. Got to be up on that list. Calgary? That's insane. How old is that barn? It is now officially the oldest rink in the NHL, right? I want to say around 84. Somebody could look that up. I remember standing on the ground floor of the Saddledome when they were building it. My dad was working for the Calgary Wranglers junior hockey team at the time. And Doug Sauter, you know Doug, was giving us a tour. He was the coach of the Wranglers at the time. And he's like, yeah, they're going to put a roof on this thing. It's going to look like a saddle. We're like, what? Yeah. And they did.
That's cool.
And now they're being dummied over it, saying, no, we can't have this roof anymore. Hey, Randy, watching in Winnipeg on Game Plus Television, says, great guests today, Rod. Well, for that, thank Clark, because they were great. Leah Hextall from ESPN and Sportsnet. I'm sorry, I dropped my pen.
Let's go.
And Mike Richards from Saga 960. There's a lizard running around here on the patio, Moose, by the way. Might have to clean up after him again.
Ricky?
There's Ricky. I was picking up lizard droppings this morning when I was on the phone with Moose. How about that?
I got so many questions, but they're not. People don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that.
Okay. Jeff, watching in Oregon on Game Plus Television. He says, I wish U.S. Division I college hockey would expand to the Pacific Northwest. Well, yeah, but I mean, you got a lot of hockey in the Pacific Northwest. Let's be real about it. And very affordable hockey. And as we mentioned earlier, Jaden Dereau is the WHL Player of the Week. Close personal family friend. Known him since he was like 12. he sat in that chair right where you sat, right after he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning. But anyways, you got Portland, Tri-City, Spokane. There is Junior A when the world's normal. There's Western Pro, which reminds me, somebody texted into the show a while back, earlier, actually it was late last week, about the Western States Hockey League. Did you see that message?
I missed it.
Did you see that one?
Nope.
Okay, well, they said, watch out for this league. And I'm like, well, we've been on it. We've been on that for a while. Jennifer at the Four Seasons says, really hoping the Oilers can come out with the win tonight against those pesky mini Wild. Well, let's talk about the featured game. Thanks for that, Jen. That and by the way, the rock star of the day yesterday was Justin Dunk from 3downnation.com. Rockstar of the day brought to you by Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. They specialize in improving your company's performance and bottom line through supply chain management services. I said to the Moose that everybody really was focused on tonight's games. How are we going to talk about last night's games on the show today? But we've managed to do that, Darren. What did 10 games. Are you going to be watching Leafs Blue Jackets? Is that your featured game?
That's probably my featured game. I'll be checking into that tonight for sure. I'll watch the Oilers. I think they're playing tonight. Check that out. I'll kind of bounce around a little bit, so it'll be fun.
Boy, funny. Last minute of play in the RP show. Where do I start? My featured game is probably going to be the Florida Panthers at the St. Louis Blues tonight. Earlier, I read that Calgary's at Vegas, but my schedule says Calgary's at San Jose. The Wire copy said they're at Vegas, but I believe they're at the Sharks. There's a viewing party at the Funky Buddha Brewery Saturday, Moose, for the Florida Panthers in Colorado Avalanche, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you can get down here Saturday, I would love to have you.
Yeah.
I think it's Saturday.
Jets and Hurricanes will be really good, too, tonight. Winnipeg Jets, Carolina Hurricanes. That'll be a really good game. That's probably going to have my interest tonight. I'll be watching that.
Yeah. I'm not sure who's up tomorrow, but I know it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you to Leah Hextall and Mike Richards today. Moose, we'll see you in 22 hours.
Have a great afternoon.
See the rest of you at noon Eastern on Gameplay. Let's make some noise.
How about that? Oh, good one, Rod. Spicy. Bob's your uncle. Awesome. Approved. Right on. Bingo. Let's go. Oh, no. LFG. I like it.